So, in talking about taking care of our knees, specifically for the knee warm ups, whenever we step forward and get into a staggered stance. So, right now, I mean, I'm like feeling the stability of my position right now, and I really want to take this right leg and move it out a little bit because that widened my stance a little further than hip width. That made me feel more stable and comfortable, whereas back here it was more similar to my feet being closer together, which I didn't feel
Right.
stable. And when we talk about Tai Chi giving us the gift of body awareness, that's the feeling in that moment of, ooh, I need to make an adjustment, and making the adjustment, not just, ooh, next time I need to do better. Just do the adjustment in that moment. But getting into that staggered stance where one foot is a little further up than the other, looking from the side, it's right here. It's not a big step, it's a very small step. If I were to take my right toe, which I don't know why they teach us this kind of thing, but to take my toe and swoop it, I wouldn't touch my foot. Like that would be a good tester, but that is a
Okay.
fall waiting to happen. However, if you look at yourself in the mirror or in the camera, you can. It's hard to see because my pants are kind of flared out at the bottom, but ideally, the staggered stance is not here. That would be more side by side, but it is a slight staggering of the feet. That's a very stable stance that you put yourself into when you do the weight shift forward and then bringing it back. And when you shift your weight forward in that warm up knee exercise, you're not shifting every bit of your weight forward. You're giving it a little bit of weight. I hate to use the word lean into it because leaning makes me think of the top part of my body leaning, right? And so we never lean in Tai Chi because one of our principles is upright posture. And so we don't lean,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels like you're kind of leaning into that, leg, but while maintaining an upright posture. So sometimes I can't find the exact right word that has the exact right meaning because lean has so many, connotations to it. So, but the thing is we're in a staggered stance. The thing is both of our feet are going to stay flat on the floor. That back foot, there's a tendency to want to lift that heel off the ground when you shift weight to that front foot. But when you pull that heel off the floor, that starts pushing you forward, pushing you into that lean position, and it takes you out of that strong and stable stance. So you're giving a little bit of weight to that front foot, and then you're bringing it back so that you can bring the foot back. Now, when you're shifting weight to that front foot, you should be able to look down and still see the front of your foot. So in the camera, it almost looks
Right.
like my knee is either directly over top of the tip of my toe or even maybe a little past. It kind of looks like that from that angle, but when I look down, I can see the tip of my toe. And so sometimes I will demonstrate it the wrong way to just show you that it's wrong and what wrong looks like. But that's one I never show you because that hurts your knee. If you lean into that foot and that knee goes further than the tip of that toe. And so it's not worth it
Yeah.
for me to show it to you the wrong way and hurt myself. And so
Yeah.
this
So if we can concentrate a little bit on the knee activities today, a little more,
Okay.
just so I get a good workout on my knees. I think that would be good for me today.
Okay. Well, let's start from the beginning so we make sure that we warm up all of our
Okay.
major joints. And the first thing we always do is open and close our hands and just generally get our bodies warmed up and ready for exercise. We know that when our muscles are warm, then we're less likely to have injury and we just get more out of our workout when our muscles are nice and malleable and warm. I always think about my son who plays baseball, and when he plays in cold weather, he talks about how his body doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work. And when he will play baseball in 110 degrees, and he is just as happy because his body works when it's warm.
All right.
He can move better, he can throw better, everything just works better. And so I always think of
When
him,
it's warm.
because that's the truth. Our bodies just work better when they're warm, and it does have something to do with the temperature. And good gracious, I don't know what the weather was like in Hawaii, but it has been so hot here this week, and
Yeah,
we have been warm.
it was nice there. No.
So I hope you had a little break from 100-degree weather. I got in my car yesterday and it said 104, and that was because
Wow.
it was sitting in the parking lot, but still it was hot. So anyway, warming up our muscles is important so our bodies work and
Have
they.
you ever been to Hawaii?
No, ma'am, I haven't.
Okay, just wondered.
I'm not. I'm really a homebody, and I
I understand.
I think part of it is because we go so much with our kids with their sports that they
There's
play.
a lot going on. Hmm.
And so when I can be at home, I'm so happy. But I think one day when all of this sporting stuff comes to an end, I think I will be excited to travel because, I'll be at home more than
Right?
I am. So, you know, I know people will say, take the trip now, don't wait until later, but it's just the way it is. So I hope to
Gotcha.
get to do. There's several trips that I would like to take. I really want to take one of those out west trips where you get to see, the Grand Canyon and the petrified forest and the redwood trees.
Hmm.
That's a trip that's like really high on my list. I'm not a big cold weather person, but I think it would be really cool to go to like Wyoming and go snowmobiling.
Yeah.
I don't want to go skiing, that I've done that before. I feel like I've checked that off. I want to just go and enjoy scenery and how
Right.
beautiful God's creation is. I mean,
Did, so
that's
you went skiing. You didn't like it that much.
It was fine. I'm not an adrenaline person.
Right.
Adrenaline just doesn't make me feel good. Some people love adrenaline, like they get addicted to it. I'm not an adrenaline person, so I like just the safety of chill. That's more of my mode.
Mm?
So I mean, I did it. I'm athletic enough, but I just don't find that fun. Like going on a snowmobile where maybe you're going fast, but you're safe.
Right.
I like safety.
Amen.
I think too much about hospital bills and what it costs to go to the emergency room. And I mean, so if
Yeah.
I could stay safe and without hospital bills, I'm happier.
You're happy.
Me, adrenaline says
Why
hospital.
put yourself in danger?
I'm not a danger seeker person. So Anyway, maybe in my former life I lived a life on the edge, and this is my life to live in safety. Who knows? All right, let's get in our stance that feels stable to us, and we have our good posture, yet we're relaxed. We're not holding any tension. We have soft bend in our knees. We're breathing. If you have a habit of holding your breath, make sure you're checking in with yourself and reminding yourself to breathe. But it feels good to take those deep breaths, inhales and exhales. Let's start with our neck, bringing our hands up, pull towards our chin and chest, and push away and follow those hands all the way down, chin to chest. Should feel a slight stretch in the back of your neck as you come down. You can match your breath to your movement. I like to inhale as I bring my hands up. So right here, inhale. And then about here, I start the exhale. Taking twice as long to exhale as it did for me to inhale. Our neck exercise. We follow that hand as we look to the side, coming back to the front. Here I want you to not just think about your neck stretching, but also making sure you have this space of your armpit. So you're not holding your arms against your body, you're holding them out away from your body, allowing that energy to flow through those joints as well. And that's called a song or an open joint. Maybe you're feeling some of that tension let go in your neck as you go side to side. And this movement helps you do everyday living activities. Like I always think about driving. Looking over into the next lane to make sure it's safe for me to change lanes, or look behind me and not rely on mirrors and cameras to come out of a parking spot. Now let's roll our shoulders. We're rolling forward, small circles, and back. Keep breathing. Bring our hands up, palms up, turn and push them down in front of us. Another moment to really practice breath, inhaling up and exhaling as we push down, matching our movement to our breath. So yes, I'm here leading you, but you can go at your own pace. That's why I encourage you to practice on your own so that you can practice this type of movement with your breath, because all our lungs are all different. We all have a different lung capacity. The more you practice breath, the more lung capacity you'll have. And the more you practice breath, when you may have lung sickness, you think about pneumonia or the flu, then you recover faster and easier because you have healthy lungs. So breathing is important. Let's go to our ball, separating them and stretching our spine. Back to center, switch, separate.
Can you see me?
I do see
on
you.
the video for a minute.
You're a tiny little box, but I see those little arms coming up above your head. Very good. How exciting. Let's take our ball side to side. Short trip, and this is what we're talking about in our beginner class right now, is the similarity of this movement to our waving hands in clouds. And similar in a way that the hand on top tells us the direction we're going, and that we move our torso and take our hands for a ride. So it's really not our hands that are moving. Our bodies are moving and our hands are just going along because they're attached. So we place our hands when we get on one side, come across, place our hands. And that whole time we're engaging the muscle in our core as we go side to side. So that movement really...
It's like,
go ahead.
it's tightening our abs too, huh?
Yes. We want to engage our core, having strong muscles in our core, whether it be our ab muscles or the muscles that surround our spine or in our backs, helps keep us upright. And if we're upright, we're not falling. So we want not just strong leg muscles, which happens with weight transfer, but also a strong core that keeps that upper body up. All right. Next is...
I was trying to take off the camera. And I can't find it now. Now I'm stuck.
Ha, you're stuck. Ha 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 ha. No, honestly, Miss Nora, you're like this teeny little box, and like I see that you are a person. I see your shirt is a light color. I don't know if it's yellow or white or cream. I don't know if it has a picture on it. Just to let you know,
It's yellow.
just how much detail I see. So you don't worry about your picture. You're not in the recording. I'm excited for you to have your camera on. So there's no judgment. I'm just glad you're here. It helps us connect when we know what each other looks like. So this is great. All right, let's go to our hips. So starting with our lower body, we're gonna, and you know, you're talking about your knee. And so when we start transferring weight to one leg, we really do have to think about that knee. So even though these movements right here are for our hips, well, our knee is just right there. It's involved too. So when we transfer weight, we don't want to pop that weight into our hip. If we pop the weight to our hip, you see how my leg is kind of crooked. It's popped sideways versus transferring weight over top of that foot, over top of that hip, over top of that knee, over top of that ankle. I'm in a straight line. My weight shifted directly down and not out. And so if you pop your hip out, you start putting pressure on that hip, you're going to hurt your hip over time. And because that hip gets popped out, then it puts unnecessary pressure on your knee and then unnecessary pressure on your ankle, it's trying to make something straight out of it. So go ahead and transfer the weight right over top of that leg. And then that whole series of joints is supported. So even when we do our hip warm-up movements, we still have to be mindful of our knee and our ankle with that weight transfer. So we're going to shift weight to one leg. You know, there's this soft bend in my knee. And when we have that soft bend in our knee, it lowers our center of gravity, which helps us be more stable and balanced. It's the same thing that guys who surf do. I mean, they do a little bit more of an extreme version where they're, you know, down. That we don't do that in this Tai Chi class. Sun style Tai Chi is a higher stance Tai Chi. We don't squat, but it's the same concept. Yes, that slight bend of the knee keeps an open joint and allows energy, that life energy, to flow through our bodies, but it also lowers that center of gravity so that we're more stable. Wrestlers do it. Regular wrestlers, they stay right here. They're here. Then they work to get each other down. But look at this, wide stance, staggered stance, bent knee. That's what wrestlers do. This is what sumo wrestlers do it. Boxers do it. Surfers do it. I'm sure other people do it. But that's why, because it's stable, we're less likely to fall. So that soft bend has a purpose in keeping ourselves balanced. So when we shift the weight, we don't lock our knee. We're more likely to fall if we lock that knee. If our knee is bent,
and put pressure on it too.
Yeah, from being locked. Also, when you have bent knees in this staggered type stance, if somebody comes along and bumps into you, then you can absorb their impact with the bend. Like you may bend a little bit more in the back if they come at you from the front. If they come at you from the back, you can bend a little more in that front. You absorb impact better, and you're less likely to fall when you can give into the impact, versus if you have locked joints, somebody bumps into you, then you're more likely to fall. You don't have anything that helps you absorb the impact. So soft
when you said shift weight earlier and the hip doesn't go out, if the hip does go out, is it bad? Because I think I was always putting my hip out. Now I'm learning that I should really kind of stay over my foot. But I know my hip
is kind of like wear and tear on your joint. And I think about trying to look cute and you pop your hip. Right? So I'm pop my hip. Now I'm real cute. Look, my knee has come out. This hip is popped, and I mean, let me twirl my hair. I am just cute. But if I stood here long enough, I would start feeling some ick right here.
So it is harmful.
So it can harm that hip. My hips will pop out of place real easily. So it's a bad idea for me to pop a hip anyway, especially this side. So I don't know what it is about my left side. It's my left side that has a bunion. It's this left side that the hip, this is left knee is that where I had Osgood slaughter. So my left knee or my left side ain't right. So yeah, you want to have your body in that, stable stance to where there's no pressure on one side or the other. It's balanced whenever you stand. And I have learned when I do speaking, if I'm doing a speech or if I'm giving a lecture or teaching a class, to be very conscious about holding my body. I know used to I would go like this. I'd put, I'd stand here and, it just puts pressure on your joints. And over time, it can cause you problems. Maybe not the first time, but over time, it can cause you problems because of unnecessary, pressure on that joint. So when you shift weight, take it so seriously about shifting weight slowly right over top of that foot, knee, everything's lined up. Make sure you feel very comfortable and strong. Then you can lift this foot and do what you can with this foot. You don't have to be in a hurry to shift weight and start moving. Shift the weight. Even take time to pay attention to your posture, that your shoulders are back, that you're not holding tension, and you're ready to make a move with that foot, which is our hip warm-up. And so same thing over here. Take your time with the weight shift. Don't get in a hurry. Make sure your shoulders are back. You have good posture so that whenever you start with the, I call it a leg swing, but when you start with the heel forward, pause in the middle, toe back, then it's like almost like a stick, like a stabilizing stick, because you've put it all in alignment. And it's going to hold you better than if you're off putting pressure on that hip. So we're just trying to decrease our chance of falls by how we hold our bodies. So we shift weight to that leg, and then heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, toe back, hands forward. And so we keep that weight on that leg the whole time. That soft bend is there that whole time. And about the third leg swing, that leg starts saying, hey, we about done here? And we say yes. And we say, let that other leg do something. So we shift the weight
So
to
when
that
you're
leg.
doing this,
Ma'am?
you have your both leg, even when you're doing the forward, that other leg is bent also, right?
It's not locked. It's maybe a little straighter, but it's not locked. And you feel the difference. So like you can have your legs straight out, and then you can lock that joint, and it's a whole different muscle thing. And so you just don't want to lock your joint. So I typically keep my knees really soft. And so even when I come back, my leg is fairly straight, but there's just that.
What about the other leg? Is that other leg, not the one that you're moving, but the one is that one locked? It's
No, ma'am.
not locked either.
That's the leg that has that soft bend. That's what I was talking about with the wrestler, the surfer, the boxer that has that lowered stance, that soft bend in their knee. And that's what we're going for, that soft bend in our knee. And it helps hold us stable as we move the other. So we give this other foot, our other leg, our weight, soft bend there. So you can see from the side, soft bend as I move here. So that's that leg that's holding on my weight. It doesn't move a whole lot. It may bend a little more slightly here whenever the heel is forward, but it stays bent even whenever I put my toe back.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just constantly paying attention to what feels stable for us. How we keep our body upright, our joints soft yet stable. And so it's kind of a yin-yang moment in Tai Chi, because we're very strong in our stance, but we're really soft in our movements, and even soft in our joints because our joints are open. They're not closed. So that's why probably sometimes it doesn't make sense, because it's two things that are opposite of each other that we're doing at the same time. We're strong and soft at the same time. Strong and soft, strong in how we hold our body, soft in how we move it. That sounds poetic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
my hair is I'm shedding, so it was tickling my arm. All right. So that's the first one for our hips. The next one for our hips, again, is weight transfer. We're shifting weight to that one leg, but we don't want to keep shifting and lean. We don't want to shift and pop that hip out. We want to come right over top of that leg and then tap that toe, bringing it back. So both feet, both legs, or both knees have that soft bend as I shift the weight, and I stop just above the ankle, the knee, the hip. It's all in a line. I don't keep going and go into the lean because that's when we start going towards falling. So shift and then lift and tap. So we're practicing, because of weight transfer, we're practicing holding our weight on one leg. And so here you see my feet are right at hip width apart. When I shift the weight and I tap out, and I'm a little bit outside of my frame, there's still that softness in my knee even if my leg is straight. It's not locked. Sometimes you can practice what wrong feels like so that you recognize when you're doing it wrong and to fix it. You can lock your leg and feel what that feels like and then soften that leg, and that's much nicer. And the whole time your leg is straight, but it's a difference in locking that joint and then that softness of the joint. So practice what it feels like when it's wrong so you can recognize it and then fix it. All right, so that one is for our hips, and of course involves our knee, because anytime we involve weight transfer, it involves that whole leg, not just the part that the exercise is intended for. I might not have hair next week if it keeps falling out. All right, now here's for our knees, and again the weight transfer thing. So we have our loose fist at our hips. We never make a fist, a tight fist, because that would be hard on our hand joints. So we keep a loose fist like we're holding an egg we don't want to break. And we're softly holding them here at our hips. You see my elbow, you see the placement of my elbows, allowing the armpit to be open here instead of here. You see the difference? Here versus here. So this closes my armpits, closes that flow of energy versus opening and allowing it to be. So my fists are at my hips, but not just like laying down on my hips. I'm engaged in the movement fully. So I'm at rest, but I'm still engaged. I'm still thinking about my upper body placement, even though this is a lower body movement. So we shift our weight to one leg, and we're going to lift, tap, and punch. So we just tap that foot out. You don't have to tap the floor. You just tap the air and tap it as high as you feel comfortable. And we're going one foot at the time. So same concept that I was just talking about. Shifting the weight right over top of that whole leg, and then move that other. Shift, lift, tap, and punch. And remember, when we punch, we keep that soft bend in our elbow. So we don't lock our arms out. We just place that fist out in the air and then bring it back. So something else to think about is this is a challenging movement because it's a cross-lateral movement, and that's good for our brains. So if you think, oh gosh, why do I keep punching with my right whenever I tap my right foot out? That's because your brain wants you to do the same side. So we challenge our brain, and when we challenge our brain grows, and so we do cross-lateral movement. I've heard it called a counterbalance too, but I don't really, I guess counterbalance, this is out and this is out, so maybe it helps keep you upright.
The foot that is tapping out is pointed. It's pointed, right?
Let's see. Shift, lift. Yeah, it's pointed. It's definitely, that toe is going out first.
And you can bring it up as high as your hip,
Oh, yeah.
or how high do you bring it up?
I mean, if you wanted to, you can go all in and let me get myself in a real stable position. We can shift that weight and then lift, tap, and punch. I mean, you talk about really testing your balance is getting that leg higher up in the air. Is it necessary? No, it's not necessary, but it is a test.
Does it help your knee a little better?
I
Or
mean,
no? Is it more of a
to me, it's just
strengthening for you?
to me, it's a true test of your balance. How
Okay.
strong and how balanced are you? Does it help make you more balanced? I maybe if it
I was just wondering if it's in your knee.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, you got that movement of bend and back, whether you're going small or big. I mean, you still have that bend, tap out, bend, back in. You know, it's meant to warm up that knee joint. And so, you know, the going higher, it's more of a flex. Like, look what I can do. I'm so balanced, I can do this. So it's not something that I do. I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
Especially in a warm up when we're just trying to warm up that knee joint. So then our other one, which we talked about at the very beginning of class, stepping out, shift, and back in. Again, cross lateral movement, good for our brains. Not putting our knee further out than our toe. Softness in the movement. Weight shift, step, shift, both feet flat on the ground, and back, side by side. So just take your time with the weight shift. The nature of Tai Chi movements being slow in nature allows that muscle to work differently than if you did something fast. The muscle works differently, slow versus fast. And I don't know all the technical names of muscles and all of that, but there's a reason why we go slow as we shift the weight. Our muscles become strong and more stable. All right, then we have our ankles. So remember I said anytime we shift weight, we're involving the whole leg, the hip, the knee, and the ankle. We shift the weight to do heel toe, but still we want to have that weight in that straight line and not into your hip to cause unnecessary pressure there on your hip. So we're heel toeing it for our ankle, bringing that foot back, shifting the weight, heel toe. Bring it back, and then big toe, little toe, side to side.
Do you see my whole body? Can you see my feet, or you just see
I
up
just see
here?
your head and mostly your ceiling.
Okay.
I assume that's your ceiling. I don't know if it's a ceiling or a wall. That's what I mean by that.
Right. I'm actually outside in a gazebo.
I gotcha. Very good. All right, and then we shake it off and our bodies are all warmed up. But now it's ready to cool it back down because it's almost 10 o'clock. Are there any more questions about those movements before we do close it out?
What time do you have? What time is it now?
9:58.
Really? Okay. Time to close out. Let's.
Do you have any more
We don't
questions?
have time to do the basic.
You have any more questions?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, do you want to go over our basic 6 and advanced 6 before we cool down just one time?
One time.
All right.
One time.
Let me turn.
Yeah.
Let me
Let's just
turn
do
on
it
our
without.
music.
Oh,
Oh, that's Taylor Swift. We don't want Taylor Swift, do we? We want Tai Chi. All right. All right. Here we go. Turning around and commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Advanced 6, starting with brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Block and close. Push the tiger to the front. Open, close, and close it out. There we go. We did our thing.
good. Let's close out.
Give ourselves a nice fist massage. Our muscles work so hard. I should have had our music turned on the whole time. That music is so nice. It just sets that mood and relaxes us. Gather tension and then let it go. We don't want tension. Gather and release. Gather and release. Big shoulder circle. Our right fist represents our strength. Even in our closing, we keep it loose. We never clench our fist. Our left fingers all together represents our friendship. Our thumb in our humility. We put that together in mutual respect. We say, Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Jennifer.
Miss Nora, I really enjoyed it today. We've not gotten to do this before.
I know, one-on-one. That was good. I enjoyed it too.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know, when you turned on the music,
Mm-hmm.
the picture I lost you, and I had to come back in. So you notice the camera is off again.
Huh.
Once you turned on the music, it went off.
Well, me and Sharita always laugh about this. We just file it under I love technology.
Okay.
I love it because it brings us together, but man, is it so irritating to try to figure out, isn't it? All right, my dear. Well, if you need me, let me know, okay? All right. Love you.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Love you too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.